In terms of power supplies, we haven't seen much difference regarding, well, basically anything. We had the certifications difference, we had the different cable connections because of the new GPUs, and now we have something else. This is XPG PYMCORE, and this specific one is 850 watts, but it's an SFX power supply, which brings us to the point with connection type. And I'm gonna show you something quite cool. As you see, we're having RTX 4080 Gaming X Slim, and it's connected with cable mode custom slipped cable, right? But when you take a closer look at this power supply, it doesn't have 8-pin connections for the CPU, EPS, and for the PCI Express, because this cable mode connection is from 12V HPWR to the 3 8-pin PCI Express cable. So how did I manage to connect it? Because this power supply has 3 12V 2x6 cables. So here's an interesting thing. This is the 600 watts 12V 2x6, and this connects directly from the power supply to the GPU. Now, if we go further, and since we can check that, we're having 112V 2x6 that expands from that cable towards 2 times 4 plus 4 pin EPS cables. Now the length is 400 millimeters plus 10 millimeters additionally. Then we have the same thing for the 12V 2x6, but with PCIe 6 plus 2. This also goes from 400 millimeters and then expands additional 10 centimeters in length. So basically what you get is 3 12V 2x6 cables. One is expanding to 2 EPS cables, one is expanding to 2 PCIe cables, and one is actually going with 12V 2x6 12 plus 4 pin connector. And in addition to that, you get another cable that is directly 12V 2x6 to one PCIe 6 plus 2. Now, you might have thought, why is that even necessary? So specifically in this scenario, I have the cable mod cable, as I said, 12V HPWR going to 3 8-pin cables for the PCI Express, right? So if I use one 12V 2x6, I get 2 PCI Express connections, and then I need another one to actually plug this in. So I use the third cable that is acquired additionally. And you don't have to worry because it occupies all the slots, quite logical. But you have the EPS cables already connected with 112V 2x6, and then you have additional 2 slots for connecting the GPU. Getting enough power, definitely, and you're good to go. Now, in addition to that, what you have more is 2 cables for your SATA and peripherals. The length is 350 towards the first SATA, and then one each additional is 100 millimeters, where you have 3 SATA and 1 Molex. So basically this covers literally everything. You're having an SFX power supply that can power literally anything, except you might get stuck with 5090, of course, in this scenario. But we're getting all the cables that are needed with this power supply, and it's an SFX. And of course, as you can see, I'm running a Valor Air Pro case that actually gives you an option to be able to mount the SFX, not because of the case, but because of the accessory box, since you get the expansion kit to mount it on the power supply and then mount it on the chassis. You get 4 additional screws. All the cables are nice and flexible, slim. So even if you don't go with the custom sleeved cables, extenders, or whatever, they still look quite solid and quite nice. Now, in this scenario, since we're talking about SFX power supply, you do need to take into consideration that the cables are a bit shorter. Now, for some details, we're having 80 plus gold certified power supply with 12V 2x6 3 cables. I already explained everything, so I'm not going to delve more into this one. ATX 3.1 ready. We're having fully modular power supply in terms of connectivity. And then what else? We have continuous power for 24/7 system operations. We're having 92mm fluid dynamic bearing silent fan, industrial level protection in terms of OVP, OPP, SCP, UVP, OTP, OCP, NLO, and SIP. And finally, when we go to the size, we're having length 100 millimeters, the thickness is 63.5 millimeters, and the weight is 125 millimeters. Now, additionally, what you can expect is ATX 3.1 and PCIe 5.1 compliant. There's also going to be a version of 1000 watts platinum 80 plus certified model, which has 235% power excursion. Apart from that one, we're having 850, which I have right here, and 750 gold-rated PYMCORE power supplies, which are all configured with 100% Japanese capacitors. Apparently, you'll be having 12 years of warranty, which is honestly outstanding, I would say. So all in all, if you're going with SFF or a full ATX midi-tower build, you can definitely manage it. The cables might be shorter for a full ATX build, so if you're having or grabbing some extension cables, that could be definitely beneficial, because when you take a look at the back, the cables are pretty neat because you don't have those excessive cables that come with regular ATX power supplies if you're going with extenders like I did in this scenario. But in general, this is a quite cool power supply because it gives you an option to connect literally everything with a couple of cables, because they use the 12V 2x6 cable to expand it, two EPS cables, two PCI Express cables, and one additional PCI Express cable if you're really needing that in, like in my scenario. But in general, quite cool combination. The 1000 watts will be even more interesting because it's a platinum and most likely more connections, with possibility of maybe multiple GPUs if needed for some other scenarios. And yeah, that's quite interesting. Now, of course, as you know, I can't do any detailed benchmarks regarding the power supplies, because this bench for the power supplies is a bit different in terms of acquiring it and everything altogether regarding that. But I just wanted to give you some type of an overview and to give you an idea that this is now also available. So the XPG PYMCORE 850 and 750 watts power supply, 80 plus gold certified, which gives you all the necessary connections and the power for your small form factor or full mid-tower chassis. Guys, the links are in the description if you need or want more information regarding this power supply. So do check it out. And finally, at the end of this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and I'll see you quite shortly in a new one. Thanks for sticking by. Bye bye.